crystal skulls, mysterious artifacts of unknown origin. In the annals of archaeological mystery, few artifacts have captured the imagination of scholars, enthusiasts, and conspiracy theorists alike as profoundly as the crystal skulls. These enigmatic objects, carved from single pieces of quartz crystal, often life-sized or smaller, and meticulously shaped to resemble human skulls, have sparked centuries of debate, speculation, and wonder. Their polished surfaces, intricate details, and the sheer precision of their craftsmanship have led many to question their origins. Are they ancient relics of lost civilizations, created by cultures whose technological prowess has been forgotten by history? Are they elaborate hoaxes, crafted in recent centuries to deceive collectors and scholars? Or do they hold deeper, perhaps even otherworldly, secrets that have yet to be unlocked by modern science? The answers to these questions remain elusive, and the mystery of the crystal skulls continues to grow as new discoveries, scientific tests, and historical research shed light on their complex and often contradictory history. To understand the allure of these artifacts, one must delve into their provenance, the legends that surround them, the scientific analyses that have been conducted, and the ongoing debates that keep them at the forefront of archaeological and paranormal inquiry. Before exploring the specific details of individual crystal skulls, it is essential to establish a basic understanding of what these artifacts are. A crystal skull is typically defined as a representation of a human skull, carved from a single piece of clear or colored quartz crystal, with varying degrees of detail and craftsmanship. Some are highly realistic, with carefully sculpted eye sockets, nasal cavities, teeth, and cranial features that mimic the structure of a real human skull. Others are more stylized, with exaggerated features or simplified forms that reflect the artistic sensibilities of the culture or individual that created them. The size of crystal skulls varies widely. Some are tiny, fitting in the palm of a hand, while others are life-sized or even larger, standing several feet tall. What unites all crystal skulls, however, is their material, quartz crystal, and the mystery surrounding their creation and purpose. Quartz crystal itself is a mineral composed of silicon dioxide, known for its transparency, hardness rating 7 on the Mohs scale, and ability to conduct energy, properties that have made it revered in many ancient cultures for its spiritual and healing qualities. This reverence for quartz, combined with the skull's symbolic significance as a representation of life, death, and the afterlife, has only added to the mystique of these artifacts. The history of crystal skulls is as fragmented and mysterious as the artifacts themselves. Unlike many archaeological finds, which are discovered in controlled excavations with clear stratigraphic contexts, most crystal skulls have unclear provenances, their origins lost to time, obscured by centuries of trade, theft, and private collection. The earliest recorded mentions of crystal skulls date back to the 16th century, during the Spanish conquest of the Americas. Spanish conquistadors and missionaries documented encounters with indigenous peoples in Mesoamerica. modern-day Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras, who possessed objects made of crystal, including skulls. These early accounts describe crystal skulls as sacred objects used in religious ceremonies, healing rituals, and as symbols of power. For example, the Aztec and Maya civilizations, which had sophisticated knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and stone carving, were known to reverence quartz crystal, believing it to be a vessel for the gods and a medium through which humans could communicate with the spirit world. According to some indigenous traditions, crystal skulls were created to store knowledge, preserve the wisdom of the ancestors, and protect the community from harm. However, these early accounts are often vague and contradictory, and no crystal skulls from this period have been definitively linked to specific Mesoamerican cultures through archaeological evidence. One of the most famous crystal skulls, and the one that has played the largest role in shaping public perception of these artifacts, is the Mitchell Hedges skull. Named after F.A. Mitchell Hedges, a British adventurer, author, and amateur archaeologist. This skull is often referred to as the Skull of Doom, or the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull, according to Mitchell Hedges' own account. The skull was discovered in 1924 during an expedition to the ancient Maya city of Lubantan, located in modern-day Belize. Mitchell Hedges claimed that his daughter, Anna, found the skull buried beneath a stone altar in one of the city's temples, along with a smaller crystal skull that was said to fit inside the larger one like a puzzle piece. The Mitchell Hedges skull is approximately life-sized, measuring around 13 centimeters in height and 20 centimeters in width, and is carved from a single piece of clear quartz crystal. Its features are highly detailed. The eye sockets are hollow. The nasal cavity is intricately sculpted, and the teeth are individually carved and aligned. The skull is polished to a high sheen, with no visible tool marks, leading many to marvel at the craftsmanship required to create such a piece, especially if it was indeed made by the ancient Maya, who did not have access to modern tools like diamond-tipped drills or polishing machines. Mitchell Hedges' account of the skull's discovery has been the subject of intense scrutiny and debate. Skeptics argue that there is no credible evidence to support his claim that the skull was found at Lubantan. No archaeological records, photographs, or witness statements from the 1924 expedition confirm the discovery, and Mitchell Hedges did not publicly mention the skull until nearly 30 years later in his 1954 book, Danger My Ally. Additionally, some researchers have pointed out that Lubantan was a Maya site primarily occupied during the post-classic period, 900–1521 CE, and there is no evidence that the Maya created crystal skulls of this size or complexity. Further, the Mitchell Hedges skull was not subjected to scientific testing until the 1970s, when researchers from the British Museum and the Smithsonian Institution conducted a series of analyses to determine its age and origin. These tests revealed that the skull had been carved using modern tools, including diamond-tipped drills and abrasive wheels, which were not available to the ancient Maya. The tests also showed that the quartz crystal used to carve the skull came from Brazil, not from Mesoamerica, where the Maya would have sourced their materials. These findings led many scholars to conclude that the Mitchell Hedges skull was a 20th century hoax, crafted to capitalize on public interest in ancient mysteries and Mesoamerican culture. Despite these skeptical findings, the Mitchell Hedges skull remains one of the most famous and controversial crystal skulls in the world. Anna Mitchell Hedges, who inherited the skull after her father's death, maintained until her own death in 2007 that the skull was indeed ancient, and that her father's account of its discovery was true. She claimed that the skull possessed supernatural powers, including the ability to heal the sick, predict the future, and emit a mysterious blue light when placed in darkness. These claims, along with the skull's striking appearance, have made it a favorite among New Age practitioners, who view it as a powerful tool for spiritual healing and meditation. The skull has also been featured in numerous books, documentaries, and movies, further cementing its place in popular culture as a symbol of ancient mystery and otherworldly power. Even today, there are many who refuse to accept the scientific evidence that the Mitchell Hedges skull is a modern hoax, arguing that the tests were flawed, or that the skull's true origins are still unknown. Another well-known crystal skull is the British Museum skull, which has a more well-documented provenance than the Mitchell Hedges skull, but is no less mysterious. This skull, which is smaller than the Mitchell Hedges skull, measuring approximately 11 centimeters in height, was acquired by the British Museum in 1897 from a French collector named Eugene Bobin. Bobin, who was a prominent dealer in Mesoamerican artifacts during the late 19th century, claimed that the skull had been found in Mexico, possibly in the ruins of the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan, modern-day Mexico City. The British Museum skull is carved from clear quartz crystal, with less detailed features than the Mitchell Hedges skull, but still displaying a high level of craftsmanship. Like the Mitchell Hedges skull, it has no visible tool marks, leading to early speculation that it was an ancient Aztec or Maya artifact. In 1996, the British Museum conducted a comprehensive scientific analysis of the skull, using a combination of X-ray diffraction, electron microscopy, and laser scanning to determine its age and method of creation. The results of these tests were similar to those of the Mitchell Hedges skull. The skull had been carved using modern tools, including diamond-tipped drills and rotary tools, which were not available in ancient Mesoamerica. The analysis also revealed that the quartz crystal used to carve the skull came from Brazil, not from Mexico or Central America. Additionally, researchers found that the skull had been polished using modern abrasive materials, which gave it its distinctive sheen. Based on these findings, the the British Museum concluded that the skull was likely crafted in the late 19th century during a period of intense interest in Mesoamerican artifacts among European collectors. This period, known as the Mesoamerican Revival, saw a surge in the creation of fake artifacts as dealers sought to meet the demand for ancient relics. The British Museum skull is now displayed in the museum's Mesoamerican gallery, with a label indicating that it is a modern forgery, but it still attracts thousands of visitors each year, drawn by its mysterious appearance and the debates surrounding its origin. The Smithsonian skull, also known as the Smithsonian crystal skull, is another prominent example of these artifacts. Acquired by the Smithsonian Institution in 1992 from a private collector, this skull is similar in size and appearance to the British Museum skull, measuring approximately 10 centimeters in height and carved from clear quartz crystal. The collector claimed that the skull had been found in Mexico in the early 20th century, but like many crystal skulls, its provenance is unsubstantiated. In 2004, the Smithsonian conducted scientific tests on the skull, using the same techniques as the British Museum and the tests on the Mitchell Hedges skull. The results were consistent. The skull had been carved using modern tools, with no evidence of ancient craftsmanship. The quartz crystal was traced to Brazil, and the polishing techniques used were consistent with 19th or 20th century methods. The Smithsonian concluded that the skull was a modern fake, likely created to mimic ancient Mesoamerican artifacts, and it is now stored in the museum's collections, rarely displayed to the public. While the Mitchell Hedges, British Museum, and Smithsonian skulls are the most famous, there are dozens of other crystal skulls in private collections and museums around the world. Each of these skulls has its own unique story and appearance, but most share similar characteristics. They are carved from quartz crystal, have varying degrees of detail, and have unclear provenances. Some are claimed to be ancient, while others are openly acknowledged as modern creations. For example, the Paris skull, housed in the Musée d'Elham in Paris, is believed to have been crafted in the 19th century, while the Prague skull, in the National Museum of Prague, is thought to be a 20th century forgery. There are also smaller crystal skulls, often referred to as miniature skulls, which are sometimes claimed to be ancient amulets or ritual objects, but are generally considered to be modern creations. One of the key questions surrounding crystal skulls is, if many of the most famous examples are modern forgeries, why do so many people believe they are ancient relics? The answer lies in a combination of factors, including the allure of ancient mysteries, the lack of clear archaeological evidence, and the cultural significance of skulls and crystal in many ancient civilizations. For centuries, skulls have been symbols of life, death, and the afterlife in cultures around the world. In Mesoamerica, the Aztec and Maya used skull motifs in their art, architecture, and religious ceremonies, viewing skulls as representations of the cycle of life and death. Quartz crystal, meanwhile, was revered for its perceived spiritual properties, with many ancient cultures believing it to be a conduit for divine energy, a tool for healing, and a means of communicating with the spirit world. The combination of these two powerful symbols, the skull and the crystal, creates a powerful allure that taps into humanity's fascination with the unknown and the supernatural. Another factor that contributes to the mystery of crystal skulls is the lack of clear archaeological evidence linking them to ancient cultures. Unlike other Mesoamerican artifacts, such as jade masks, stone carvings, or pottery, which are frequently found in controlled excavations with clear stratigraphic contexts, crystal skulls are almost always found in private collections, with no records of their discovery. This lack of provenance makes it difficult to determine their age and origin, and it allows for speculation and storytelling to fill in the gaps. For example, many crystal skulls are claimed to have been found in ancient tombs, temples, or sacred sites. But without archaeological documentation, these claims cannot be verified. This ambiguity has allowed both believers and skeptics to interpret the evidence in ways that support their own theories, further fueling the debate. The role of the media and popular culture has also played a significant role in shaping public perception of crystal skulls. In the 1930s, F.A. Mitchell Hedges began promoting his skull through lectures and books, claiming that it was an ancient Maya artifact with supernatural powers. His stories captured the public imagination, and the skull became a staple of tabloids and paranormal literature. In the 1970s, the Mitchell Hedges skull was featured in a popular documentary, The Mystery of the Crystal Skulls, which presented the skull as an ancient mystery with no clear explanation. This documentary, along with other books and films, helped to popularize the idea that crystal skulls were relics of a lost civilization, possibly with connections to extraterrestrial beings or advanced ancient technology. In recent years, crystal skulls have been featured in movies such as Indiana Jones and The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which further cemented their place in popular culture as symbols of adventure, mystery, and otherworldly power. While these portrayals are fictional, they have helped to keep the mystery of crystal skulls alive, inspiring new generations of enthusiasts to explore their origins. Despite the popularity of the ancient origin theory, the scientific evidence overwhelmingly suggests that most crystal skulls are modern forgeries. As mentioned earlier, scientific tests conducted on the Mitchell Hedges, British Museum, and Smithsonian skulls have all revealed that they were carved using modern tools, with no evidence of ancient craftsmanship. These tests include X-ray diffraction, which can determine the age of the crystal, and the methods used to carve it, electron microscopy, which can detect tool marks and polishing techniques, and laser scanning, which can create a 3D model of the skull to analyze its symmetry and precision. The results of these tests have consistently shown that the skulls were crafted in the 19th or 20th century, using techniques that that were not available to ancient cultures. One of the key pieces of evidence against the ancient origin theory is the presence of tool marks that are consistent with modern tools. For example, the Mitchell Hedges skull has small, circular drill holes in the eye sockets and nasal cavity, which were likely made using a diamond-tipped drill, a tool that was not invented until the 19th century. The skull also has a smooth, polished surface that was likely achieved using modern abrasive materials, such as silicon carbide, which were not available in ancient Mesoamerica. Similarly, the British Museum skull has tool marks that indicate it was carved using a rotary tool, which was not invented until the 20th century. These tool marks are invisible to the naked eye, but are clearly visible under a microscope, providing definitive evidence that the skulls are modern creations. Another piece of evidence is the source of the quartz crystal used to carve the skulls. Most crystal skulls are made from clear quartz crystal that originates from Brazil, not from Mesoamerica. The ancient Maya and Aztec sourced their materials locally, using quartz crystal from mines in Mexico and Central America. If the crystal skulls were indeed ancient Mesoamerican artifacts, they would likely be made from local quartz, not from Brazil. This suggests that the skulls were crafted by modern carvers who had access to Brazilian quartz, which is abundant and relatively inexpensive. Additionally, there is no evidence in ancient Mesoamerican art, literature, or archaeological records that the Maya or Aztec created crystal skulls of the size and complexity of the Mitchell Hedges or British Museum skulls. While the Maya and Aztec did use quartz crystal in their art and rituals, they typically created small, simple objects, such as beads, amulets, and small carvings, not life-sized skulls. The absence of crystal skulls in ancient Mesoamerican archaeological sites further supports the conclusion that these artifacts are modern forgeries. Despite the overwhelming scientific evidence, there are still many who believe that crystal skulls are ancient relics. Some argue that the scientific tests are flawed, or that the tool marks are the result of ancient techniques that have been forgotten. Others claim that the crystal skulls were created by a lost civilization, such as the Atlanteans, who possessed advanced technology that allowed them to carve crystal with precision. Still, others believe that the crystal skulls are of extraterrestrial origin, created by aliens who visited Earth in ancient times and left the skulls as a message to humanity. These theories, while popular among paranormal enthusiasts, are not supported by any scientific evidence and are generally dismissed by mainstream scholars. One of the most persistent claims made by believers in the ancient origin of crystal skulls is that the skulls possess supernatural powers. These claims include the ability to heal the sick, emit light, change color, and even communicate with humans. For example, Anna Mitchell Hedges claimed that the Mitchell Hedges skull could heal her from a serious illness, and that it would emit a blue light when she meditated with it. Other believers claim that crystal skulls can help to enhance intuition, reduce stress, and connect humans to the spirit world. While these claims are anecdotal and cannot be scientifically verified, they have contributed to the allure of crystal skulls and have made them popular among New Age practitioners and spiritual seekers. The idea that crystal skulls possess supernatural powers is rooted in the ancient belief in the spiritual properties of quartz crystal. Many ancient cultures, including the Maya, Aztec, and ancient Egyptians, believed that quartz crystal was a sacred material that could channel divine energy and promote healing. In modern times, this belief has been revived by New Age practitioners who use crystal skulls in meditation, energy healing, and other spiritual practices. While there is no scientific evidence to support the claim that crystal skulls have supernatural powers, many people report feeling a sense of calm, peace, or energy when in the presence of a crystal skull. This may be due to the placebo effect or to the psychological impact of interacting with a beautiful, mysterious object that is associated with ancient wisdom and spiritual power. Another aspect of the crystal skull mystery is the question of why modern forgers would go to such great lengths to create these artifacts. The answer lies in the demand for ancient Mesoamerican artifacts among collectors and museums in the 19th and 20th centuries. During this period, there was a growing interest in Mesoamerican culture, fueled by the discoveries of ancient cities like Machu Picchu and Chichen Itza. Collectors were willing to pay large sums of money for artifacts that were believed to be ancient, and dealers saw an opportunity to profit by creating fake artifacts that mimicked the style of ancient Mesoamerican art. Crystal skulls, with their striking appearance and mysterious aura, were particularly popular among collectors, and forgers quickly realized that they could command high prices for well-crafted fakes. One of the most famous forgers of crystal skulls was Eugene Boban, the French collector who sold the British Museum skull in 1897. Boban was a prominent dealer in Mesoamerican artifacts, and he was known to sell both genuine and fake artifacts to collectors. It is likely that Boban commissioned the British Museum skull and other crystal skulls to meet the demand for ancient relics. Boban's forgeries were so well crafted that they fooled even prominent scholars and museums, and many of his fake artifacts are still in collections around the world today. Other forgers followed in Boban's footsteps, creating crystal skulls that were designed to look ancient, with carefully simulated wear and tear and vague provenances that suggested they had been found in ancient sites. Despite the fact that most crystal skulls are modern forgeries, they still hold significant cultural and historical value. They are a testament to the human fascination with ancient mysteries, the power of storytelling, and the skill of modern carvers. They also provide insight into the history of archaeological forgery and the challenges of authenticating artifacts with unclear provenances. For museums, crystal skulls are valuable educational tools, helping to teach visitors about the importance of provenance, scientific testing, and critical thinking in archaeology. For enthusiasts, crystal skulls are a source of wonder and inspiration, reminding us of the mysteries that still exist in the world and the importance of keeping an open mind. In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in crystal skulls, with new scientific tests and research shedding light on their origins. For example, in 2015, a team of researchers from the University of California, Davis, conducted a comprehensive analysis of the Mitchell Hedges skull using advanced imaging techniques, including micro-CT scanning and Raman spectroscopy. The results of this study confirmed earlier findings that the skull was carved using modern tools, but they also revealed new details about the carving process, including the use of diamond-tipped drills and abrasive powders. The study also found that the skull was carved from a single piece of Brazilian quartz, and that it had been polished using modern techniques to achieve its distinctive sheen. While this study did not change the conclusion that the skull is a modern forgery, it provided new insights into the craftsmanship and materials used to create it. Another recent development in the study of crystal skulls is the discovery of new artifacts that may shed light on their origins. In 2017, a crystal skull was found in a private collection in Mexico, with a provenance that suggests it may be older than previously thought. The skull, which is smaller than the Mitchell Hedges skull, is carved from a piece of quartz crystal that originates from Mexico, not Brazil, and it has tool marks that are consistent with ancient Mesoamerican carving techniques. While the skull has not yet been subjected to comprehensive scientific testing, it has sparked new debate about whether some crystal skulls could indeed be ancient. However, most scholars remain skeptical, noting that the skull's provenance is still unclear, and that the tool marks could be simulated to look ancient. The debate over crystal skulls is likely to continue for many years to come. While the scientific evidence strongly suggests that most are modern forgeries, the allure of these artifacts and the mystery surrounding their origins will continue to captivate people around the world. For some, crystal skulls are a symbol of ancient wisdom and supernatural power, a reminder that there are still secrets in the world that have yet to be unlocked. For others, they are a fascinating example of archaeological forgery, a testament to the skill of modern carvers and the human desire to believe in the unknown. Regardless of one's perspective, there is no denying that crystal skulls are among the most mysterious and intriguing artifacts in the world, and they will continue to inspire curiosity, debate, and wonder for generations to come. To fully appreciate the mystery of crystal skulls, it is important to consider them in the context of human history and culture. Throughout time, humans have created artifacts that reflect their beliefs, fears, and aspirations, and crystal skulls are no exception. Whether they are ancient relics or modern forgeries, they tell a story about our fascination with the unknown, our reverence for the past, and our desire to connect with something greater than ourselves. They remind us that even in an age of scientific advancement, there are still mysteries that cannot be easily explained, and that the pursuit of knowledge and understanding is a never-ending journey, in addition to their cultural and historical significance. Crystal skulls also raise important questions about the nature of authenticity and the role of provenance in archaeology. The case of the crystal skulls highlights the challenges of authenticating artifacts that have no clear record of their discovery, and it underscores the importance of scientific testing and critical thinking in the field of archaeology. It also serves as a warning to collectors and museums about the dangers of purchasing or displaying artifacts with unclear provenances, as they may be supporting the illegal trade in fake or looted artifacts. Despite the controversies surrounding them, crystal skulls have become a global phenomenon, with millions of people around the world fascinated by their mystery and beauty. They have inspired books, movies, documentaries, and even spiritual practices, and they continue to be a source of inspiration for artists, writers, and thinkers. Whether you believe they are ancient relics of a lost civilization or modern forgeries crafted to deceive, there is no denying that crystal skulls have left an indelible mark on human culture and imagination. As we continue to explore the mystery of crystal skulls, it is important to approach the topic with an open mind, combining scientific evidence with critical thinking and respect for different perspectives. While the scientific consensus is clear that most crystal skulls are modern forgeries, there is still much to learn about their origins, their creators, and the reasons behind their creation. Perhaps one day, new discoveries or advances in technology will shed more light on these enigmatic artifacts, solving the mystery once and for all. Until then, the crystal skulls will remain a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that there are still secrets in the world waiting to be uncovered. To delve deeper into the world of crystal skulls, it is helpful to explore the stories and legends that surround individual artifacts. For example, the Mitchell Hedges skull has been the subject of numerous myths and legends, including claims that it was used by the Maya to predict the end of the world, or that it contains a map to a hidden treasure. While these claims are not supported by any evidence, they have helped to fuel the skull's mystique and have made it one of the most famous artifacts in the world. Similarly, the British Museum skull has been linked to various supernatural claims, including the ability to communicate with the dead and to protect its owner from harm. Another aspect of the crystal skull mystery is the role of indigenous communities in their history. While many crystal skulls are claimed to be Mesoamerican artifacts, indigenous communities in Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras have largely distanced themselves from these artifacts, stating that they are not part of their cultural heritage. For example, the Maya people today do not recognize crystal skulls as part of their traditional art or religious practices. and they view many of the claims about crystal skulls as cultural appropriation. This highlights the importance of respecting the cultural heritage of indigenous communities and not making assumptions about their history or beliefs based on unproven claims. The scientific study of crystal skulls has also contributed to our understanding of quartz crystal and its properties. Quartz crystal is a unique mineral with a variety of physical and chemical properties, including its ability to conduct electricity, its piezoelectric effect, the ability to generate an electric charge when pressure is applied, and its transparency. These properties have made quartz crystal valuable in modern technology, including electronics, watches, and medical equipment. The study of crystal skulls has helped to highlight the beauty and versatility of quartz crystal, and it has inspired new research into its properties and potential applications. In recent years, there has also been a growing movement to preserve and protect crystal skulls, both as cultural artifacts and as works of art. Many museums and private collectors have begun to document their crystal skulls, conducting scientific tests to determine their age and origin, and sharing their findings with the public. This transparency is important as it helps to educate the public about the true nature of these artifacts and to dispel myths and misinformation. While the mystery of crystal skulls may never be fully solved, their legacy will continue to inspire curiosity and wonder for generations to come. They are a reminder that the world is full of mysteries and that the pursuit of knowledge and understanding is one of the most important human endeavors. Whether they are ancient relics or modern forgeries, crystal skulls have captured our imagination and have become a symbol of the unknown, a testament to the power of storytelling and the enduring human fascination with the past. In conclusion, the crystal skulls are among the most mysterious and intriguing artifacts in the world. Their polished surfaces, intricate details, and unclear origins have sparked centuries of debate and speculation, with some believing they are ancient relics of lost civilizations, and others dismissing them as modern forgeries, while the scientific evidence strongly supports the latter. The allure of these artifacts remains undiminished as they continue to captivate people around the world with their beauty and mystery. Whether you view them as works of art, archaeological forgeries, or symbols of supernatural power, there is no denying that crystal skulls have left an indelible mark on human culture and imagination. As we continue to study and explore these enigmatic artifacts, we are reminded of the importance of scientific inquiry, critical thinking, and respect for the past. The mystery of the crystal skulls may never be fully solved, but the journey to understand them is a testament to the human desire to explore the unknown and to unlock the secrets of our world. To further expand on the topic, it is important to consider the various cultural and historical contexts in which crystal skulls have been perceived and interpreted. For example, in ancient Egypt, Skulls were often used as symbols of death and the afterlife, and quartz crystal was revered as a sacred material that could preserve the soul. While there is no evidence that the ancient Egyptians created crystal skulls, the combination of skulls and crystal in their culture suggests that the allure of these symbols is universal. Similarly, in ancient China, crystal was used in art and medicine, and skulls were sometimes used in ritual practices, further highlighting the cross-cultural significance of these symbols. Another important aspect to consider is the role of crystal skulls in the New Age movement. Since the 1960s, crystal skulls have become a central part of New Age spirituality, with many practitioners using them in meditation, energy healing, and other spiritual practices. They are believed to be powerful tools for connecting with the spirit world, enhancing intuition, and promoting healing. While these beliefs are not supported by scientific evidence, they have helped to popularize crystal skulls and have made them a staple of New Age culture. Today, there are numerous workshops, retreats, and online communities dedicated to the study and use of crystal skulls, further cementing their place in modern spirituality. The commercialization of crystal skulls is another important factor to consider. In recent years, crystal skulls have become a popular commodity, with many companies selling mass-produced crystal skulls to collectors and spiritual seekers. These mass-produced skulls are often made from synthetic quartz or low-quality natural quartz, and they are designed to look like the famous crystal skulls in museums and private collections. While these mass-produced skulls are not considered forgeries, since they are openly marketed as modern creations, they have contributed to the popularization of crystal skulls and have made them more accessible to the general public. Despite the commercialization of crystal skulls, there are still many authentic, hand-carved crystal skulls created by modern artists. These artists draw inspiration from the famous crystal skulls of the past, but they create their own unique designs using traditional and modern carving techniques. These modern crystal skulls are often highly sought after by collectors, and they are valued for their craftsmanship and artistic merit. They serve as a reminder that while many crystal skulls are forgeries, there are also genuine works of art that celebrate the beauty and mystery of quartz crystal. The debate over crystal skulls also raises important questions about the nature of belief and skepticism. Why do some people continue to believe that crystal skulls are ancient relics, despite overwhelming scientific evidence to the contrary? This question speaks to the power of belief and the human desire to find meaning in the unknown. For many people, crystal skulls represent a connection to a past that is more mysterious and magical than the present, and they are unwilling to let go of that connection, even in the face of scientific evidence. This is not uncommon in human history. Throughout time, people have clung to beliefs that are not supported by evidence, because those beliefs provide comfort, hope, and a sense of purpose. At the same time, skepticism is an important part of scientific inquiry and critical thinking. Skeptics who question the ancient origin of crystal skulls are not dismissing the mystery of these artifacts. Rather, they are demanding evidence to support the claims made about them. This skepticism has led to important scientific discoveries, including the identification of modern tool marks on crystal skulls and the determination of their true origins. It has also helped to educate the public about the importance of provenance and scientific testing in archaeology. In the end, the mystery of the crystal skulls is a reflection of the human condition. Our curiosity about the past, our fascination with the unknown, and our desire to find meaning in the world around us. Whether they are ancient relics or modern forgeries, crystal skulls have captured our imagination and have become a symbol of the enduring mystery of human history. They remind us that there is still much to learn about our past, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey that never ends. As we continue to explore the mystery of the crystal skulls, we are not only seeking to understand these enigmatic artifacts, but also to understand ourselves and our place in the world. To further explore the scientific aspects of crystal skulls, it is important to examine the techniques used to analyze these artifacts. One of the most common techniques is X-ray diffraction, which is used to determine the crystalline structure of the quartz and to identify any impurities or inclusions that may be present. This technique can also help to determine the age of the crystal, as quartz crystal forms over millions of years and contains trace elements that can be used to date it. Another technique is electron microscopy, which is used to examine the surface of the skull at a microscopic level, revealing tool marks and polishing techniques that are not visible to the naked eye. Laser scanning is another valuable tool, which creates a 3D model of the skull, allowing researchers to analyze its symmetry, proportions, and craftsmanship. These scientific techniques have been instrumental in determining the origin of crystal skulls. For example, X-ray diffraction of the Mitchell Hedges skull revealed that the quartz crystal is of Brazilian origin and that it contains trace elements that are consistent with quartz from Brazil. Electron microscopy revealed tool marks that are consistent with modern diamond-tipped drills and rotary tools. And laser scanning showed that the skull has a high degree of symmetry that would be difficult to achieve with ancient tools. These findings, combined with the lack of archaeological evidence linking the skull to ancient Mesoamerican cultures, have led scientists to conclude that the Mitchell Hedges skull is a modern forgery. Another important scientific consideration is the hardness of quartz crystal. Quartz has a hardness of 7 on the Mohs scale, which means it is harder than most other minerals, including glass and steel. This makes it difficult to carve, even with modern tools. To carve a crystal skull, a carver would need to use diamond-tipped tools, which are the only tools hard enough to cut through quartz. The ancient Maya and Aztec did not have access to diamond-tipped tools, and they would have been unable to carve quartz crystal with the precision and detail seen in the famous crystal skulls. This further supports the conclusion that these artifacts are modern forgeries. Despite the scientific evidence, there are still some researchers who argue that the ancient Maya and Aztec could have developed techniques to carve quartz crystal without modern tools. For example, some claim that the Maya used obsidian tools, which are very sharp, to carve quartz. However, obsidian has a hardness of only 5 on the Mohs scale, which is not hard enough to cut through quartz. Others claim that the Maya used a combination of abrasion and pressure to carve quartz, but there is no evidence to support this claim, and it is unlikely that such techniques would produce the precise, smooth surfaces seen in crystal skulls. The debate over crystal skulls is also influenced by the lack of clear definitions and standards in the field of archaeology. What constitutes an ancient artifact? How do we determine the origin of an artifact with no clear provenance? These questions are not easy to answer, and they have led to disagreements among scholars. Some scholars argue that any artifact that is more than 100 years old should be considered ancient, while others argue that an artifact must be associated with a specific ancient culture to be considered ancient. This lack of clear standards has allowed for confusion and speculation about the origin of crystal skulls. In addition to the scientific and archaeological debates, the crystal skulls have also been the subject of legal and ethical controversies. For example, many crystal skulls are believed to have been looted from ancient sites, which is illegal and unethical. Looting destroys archaeological sites and robs us of valuable information about the past, and it is a major problem in the field of archaeology. While it is difficult to determine whether a specific crystal skull was looted, the lack of provenance makes it likely that many of them were. This has led to calls for stricter regulations on the trade in ancient artifacts to prevent looting and to protect cultural heritage. Despite the controversies, the crystal skulls remain a fascinating and important part of human history and culture. They are a testament to the human imagination, the skill of carvers, and the enduring mystery of the past. Whether you believe they are ancient relics or modern forgeries, there is no denying that crystal skulls have captured our attention and have inspired us to explore the unknown. As we continue to study and learn about these enigmatic artifacts, we are reminded of the importance of curiosity, critical thinking, and respect for the past. The mystery of the crystal skulls may never be fully solved, but the journey to understand them is a valuable and rewarding one. To summarize, the crystal skulls are a collection of enigmatic artifacts carved from quartz crystal, with unclear origins and a rich history of debate and speculation. While the most famous examples, such as the Mitchell Hedges, British Museum, and Smithsonian skulls, have been proven to be modern forgeries through scientific testing, many people still believe they are ancient relics of lost civilizations. The allure of these artifacts stems from their striking appearance, their association with ancient cultures and supernatural powers, and the mystery surrounding their creation. The scientific evidence overwhelmingly supports the conclusion that most crystal skulls are modern forgeries, crafted in the 19th or 20th century to meet the demand for ancient Mesoamerican artifacts. However, the mystery of the crystal skulls continues to captivate people around the world, inspiring new research, debate, and wonder. Whether they are viewed as works of art, archaeological forgeries, or symbols of supernatural power, crystal skulls remain one of the most intriguing and mysterious artifacts in human history. As we look to the future, it is likely that new scientific techniques and discoveries will continue to shed light on the origin of crystal skulls. Advances in imaging technology, such as high-resolution microscopy and 3D modeling, may reveal new details about the carving process and the materials used. Additionally, new archaeological discoveries in Mesoamerica may provide evidence of ancient crystal carving techniques, which could change our understanding of the crystal skulls. Until then, the crystal skulls will remain a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that there are still secrets in the world waiting to be uncovered, and that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey that never ends. In the end, the crystal skulls are more than just artifacts. They are a reflection of our human desire to connect with the past, to explore the unknown, and to find meaning in the world around us. They remind us that even in an age of scientific advancement, there is still room for mystery and wonder, and that the pursuit of knowledge is one of the most important human endeavors. Whether you are a scientist, a historian, a spiritual seeker, or simply someone who is fascinated by ancient mysteries, the crystal skulls have something to offer, and their legacy will continue to inspire and intrigue us for generations to come. To further enhance our understanding of crystal skulls, it is valuable to explore the perspectives of different groups of people who have been involved with these artifacts, including collectors, scholars, indigenous communities, and New Age practitioners. Collectors of crystal skulls often view them as valuable works of art or investments, and they may be drawn to their beauty, rarity, or mysterious origins. Scholars, on the other hand, approach crystal skulls from a scientific and historical perspective, focusing on provenance, craftsmanship, and the evidence for their origin. Indigenous communities, as mentioned earlier, often distance themselves from crystal skulls, viewing them as cultural appropriations that do not reflect their traditional beliefs or practices. New Age practitioners see crystal skulls as powerful spiritual tools, using them for meditation, healing, and connection with the spirit world. These diverse perspectives highlight the complexity of the crystal skull mystery and the different ways in which people interpret and engage with these artifacts. Another important aspect to consider is the role of the media in shaping public perception of crystal skulls. As mentioned earlier, movies like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull have popularized the idea that crystal skulls are ancient relics with supernatural powers, while documentaries and books have often presented conflicting information about their origin. This media coverage has helped to keep the mystery of crystal skulls alive, but it has also contributed to misinformation and confusion. It is important for the public to approach media coverage of crystal skulls with a critical eye, seeking out reliable sources and scientific evidence to form their own opinions. The future of crystal skull research is likely to focus on several key areas. First, scientists will continue to use advanced imaging and analytical techniques to study existing crystal skulls, hoping to uncover new details about their origin and craftsmanship. Second, archaeologists will continue to excavate ancient Mesoamerican sites, looking for evidence of crystal carving techniques or crystal artifacts that could shed light on the crystal skull mystery. Third, researchers will work to improve the authentication process for crystal skulls, developing new methods to determine their age and origin. Finally, there will be ongoing efforts to educate the public about crystal skulls, helping to dispel myths and misinformation, and to promote a better understanding of these enigmatic artifacts. In conclusion, the crystal skulls are a fascinating and complex phenomenon that has captured the imagination of people around the world for centuries. While the scientific evidence strongly suggests that most are modern forgeries, their allure remains undiminished as they continue to inspire curiosity, debate, and wonder. Whether you view them as works of art, archaeological forgeries, or symbols of supernatural power, there is no denying that crystal skulls have left an indelible mark on human culture and imagination. As we continue to study and explore these enigmatic artifacts, we are reminded of the importance of scientific inquiry, critical thinking, and respect for the past. The mystery of the crystal skulls may never be fully solved, but the journey to understand them is a testament to the human desire to explore the unknown and to unlock the secrets of our world.